is up, everyone? Good morning and welcome to the show. The podcast has returned, and it's time to tackle a few interesting topics. First off, we've got to figure out what the next DSP tries it is, and we already have a couple of options, but let's talk and figure that out. But in addition, and much bigger of a concern, we've got to figure out what games I'll be playing during next week's Halloween marathon, because every single year, annually on Halloween, we have a fun event where I dress up, I drink, I play games, and we have a very festive time to celebrate. You guys have been nominating games for over 2 weeks. It's time to finally tally those up and see what made the cut. So, this should be a pretty fun show. Sit back and relax. It's time for the Level 1 podcast. Alrighty, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 podcast for Tuesday, the 21st of October, 2025. We are in the home stretch for October. It doesn't feel like it, does it? But we are. And what that means is that today, we have to figure out what the heck we're doing next Friday for the Halloween event. We're going to be doing a fun marathon of games, but what games? Right? I actually made an announcement yesterday. You probably missed it because you probably were not around if you only check out the podcasts. But I have gotten a couple of cool treats that I have purchased to do a live DSP Tries It taste testing during the Halloween event. I mean, it makes sense. It's Halloween. People are eating treats and candy like crazy. So why not review a couple of them myself? But outside of that, the main focus of the event is chill and fun gaming that you guys ask for. And like I said, you've been nominating games now since the beginning of the month. So today we're going to sit back and take a look at all of those nominations. We're going to see what are the most nominated games and go from there. All right. So it should be fun. Hope that you guys will join me for the festivities as we go through and possibly today concretely determine what games we'll be playing. The only case that we won't know by the end of this podcast is if, let's say, for example, there's quite a lot of games that have a lot of nominations, then what I might do is a poll. Say, get the top 10 games and have everyone vote on them. But usually when we do this, it ends up being a lot easier to figure out because there's a certain definitive game, a number of games that have a whole ton of nominations. So we're going to see today, okay? In addition to that, yesterday, we actually did DSP Tries It. Now, yeah, it was super accelerated. No one expected that we were going to be doing DSP Tries It that early in the week, but lo and behold, it happened. So now we got to figure out what's the next DSP Tries It topic. We already have a couple of ideas, including a sandwich from Firehouse Subs or returning to Domino's Pizza for the first time in many, many years. I couldn't even tell you the last time I actually was there or even what they have. So we have a couple options. I'm curious if you guys know of anything else that could be going on right now in the realms of food that we could do as a fun episode coming up. So we'll talk about that. Also, obviously, I want to get you all caught up on everything going on with current games. Right now, the hot topic, of course, is Ninja Gaiden 4, which was going nice and smooth last night until I got to an optional challenge room that already an hour into the game kind of exposed all of its shortcomings and flaws, which is sad. I don't know why they did that. If you're going to have something to just show the holes in your game's engine, don't do it an hour into the game. Put that shit in further in. But we'll talk about that. So, I hope that you guys are ready to chill. How is everyone this morning? Let's see who we got. We got Simple Rhapsody. We got Isna, Schnitzel Sandwich, Original Grant, Chris, Stone Cold. Who else? Samuel, Recovering Detractor, Maestro David, Display Dragon. Again, every day when I shout out kick names, there's a bunch of names I don't recognize. Eddie Chill. Your future stepdad is here this morning. Real Crown Prince. Physical Dentness. Right. RGB King. Hell yeah, real. Matt, how are you this morning? Game Dude, how are you? Stormforce Gamer, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How is everyone today? By the way, I really feel like this week is the finale week for me to wear this kind of clothing. I've been wearing this kind of clothing since April, May? And listen, I love wearing cool Hawaiian shirts and nice shorts and everything. I really do. But it has finally cooled down. The weather has turned today. It's nice clouds outside. It's only 79 degrees in my office. It's about time to change my attire, to go into the whole, autumn, winter attire, long sleeve shirts, pullovers, sweaters, actual pants instead of shorts. And that's going to happen very, very soon. So I hope that you guys will, be okay with that. I know people have gotten used to watching me wear this stuff now for a while, and it might be shocking to you. Wait, Phil's going to wear clothes that don't look like he's on the beach? Yeah. I mean, listen, it's like I said, you got to dress how your life is. My life is a party, man. I get to come to stream every day and chill with a bunch of people, enjoy games for a living, and I have a good life. So, I like to wear the attire that reflects that. But, sometimes you got to get more serious. I mean, the holidays are coming right around the corner. So I have to spruce up to look more professional, right? That's right. Plus, what's going to happen is I'm going to hide my muscular body transformation. What I'm going to do is continue to work out over the course of the next, many months. And then in the spring, when it gets warm again, and I change back to this attire, you're going to see my giant, insanely worked roided arms are going to be rippling out of my shirt. You're going to see I put on 20 pounds of muscle just on my arms alone. It's going to be absolutely remarkable. Your jaws are going to drop. But that only is possible if I hide it for the next many months by going long sleeve. That's really the intention of what I'm doing here. That's why, of course, right? In truth, I never had any intention of telling you guys that I was working out. I really didn't. Yeah, if you remember, it happened on a whim. I was wearing one of these shirts, and you guys hated how it looked. So I said, well, if you're going to keep complaining the entire stream, I'm just going to take it off. That way you could stop talking about it. So I did. And then everyone's like, what the hell? Like, why? It looks like you've buffed up. And I'm like, well, yeah, I've been working out for months. So anyway, it's not a big deal to me, but I guess it is to many people on the internet who like to hyperfixate on every single aspect of my life and talk about it and, obsess about it, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyway, good stuff, and I'm excited for fall attire right around the corner sooner rather than later. Like I said, I'm just waiting for it to lock in. Like today, they said there might be some sun, so it might actually get a little bit on the warmer side, but for the most part, it looks like starting Friday, it is full fall weather, 50 degrees all day long, rain and clouds. So probably as of this weekend into next week, I'll be wearing the fall attire full time. So there you go. Okay, where to begin? Have I finished Silk Song? Well, Glimbo, you can answer that question yourself. There's a channel, it's called DSPGaming. It has all my videos and archives listed there. You could have easily just taken a look at the playlist and known that, no, I have not beaten it yet. We are in Act 3, and we're having a lot of fun with Act 3. I can't wait for more tomorrow, actually, on the main stream. I'm very excited to see where the game goes now in Act 3. Very nice. Dunking on a fan is not what happened. I told a fan how to get their answers for themselves so they don't have to come to me. It's like, so you can just hand someone a fish when they're hungry, or you can teach them how to do it themselves so they don't have to come back to you. You get it? Maybe not. Maybe you're too stupid. I dunked on you. Anyway, so where to begin? Let's start. How about this? Let's quickly talk about the whole DSP Tries It thing, because I don't want to talk about it the whole stream. I think we're going to have a lot of time spent on the Halloween nominations, seeing what you guys nominated, looking up to see if these games are viable, where they're available, and then figuring that list out. DSP Tries It has been all over the place recently. Allow me to explain. For a couple of, basically, I got fed up with fast food for a bit because I kept trying fast food and it wasn't working. Notably, if you remember, the Hot Ones meal at Popeyes was a complete and utter disaster of an episode because they didn't give me the Hot One sauce. Like, how do you sell someone a meal called the Hot Ones meal and not give them the component that makes it called Hot Ones? Pretty stupid, right? So after that, I got fed up and I said, I think what we should do is stop doing fast food for a bit and do some other stuff. So we did. We actually did Indian food and then we did Mexican food. Funny enough, the Indian food episode of DSP Tries It did pretty good in the views. It had like 1,400 views or something like that. That's not bad at all for DSP Tries It. That's a pretty good viewer count. But the Mexican episode did not do good. The Mexican episode took like over a week to even reach 1,000 views. So it was very much struggling. I think, again, what people prefer to do is they want to see me taste test something that is something they can get. Because that way, if it's something that I say is good, they can go get it themselves. If it's something that I say is bad, then maybe they could say, okay, I'm going to avoid that. Or they could say, yeah, I want to try anyway. If Phil says it's really bad, I wonder if it's actually bad or. Some people like to kind of call me on my bluff, as they say, even though I don't know why they would think I'm bluffing about fast food, right? So I came back to fast food now for a couple of episodes. And honestly, been disappointing. First, it was Arby's steak nuggets, and then I actually tried the Reuben sandwich. I tried a chicken sandwich and stuff like that. It just wasn't very good. Very disappointing. I think I like the other stuff at Arby's better. Like just the beef and cheddar is probably the best thing they got, And then yesterday, oh my God. I mean, at this point, I think I might have to just say I'm not eating Taco Bell for like 6 to 8 months. I might actually do that. I might just put my foot down and be like, I don't care what Taco Bell has. I'm just not going to eat there. Because every time I order from my local Taco Bell, it's like unwrapping a stinky sock and then putting it in your mouth. Like, I've had enough of them just sucking ass. It's really bad. Like, first we tried this year's Decades menu. It was awful. And I don't know if it's because they made it poorly or it actually just is awful. And then yesterday we did the Frank's Red Hot menu. It was fucking terrible. First of all, they didn't put enough hot sauce on anything. So how is this the Frank's Red Hot menu if it's not hot? You idiots. You have to put the fucking sauce on the food so it makes it be what it's called. And they're not doing that. I'm eating this chicken wrap and it's just 2 chicken tenders and a bunch of vegetables. Where the fuck is the sauce? It pisses me off. I paid a lot of money for it. I paid $8.50 for the freaking burrito. $8.50 for the burrito. And it's horrible. It's dry. But even worse than that, even worse was definitely the Fritos Flamin' Hot grilled cheese burrito. That's probably one of the worst excuses for food that I have seen in a very long time. First of all, why would you put cheese on the outside of a burrito? The only time you would ever do that, okay, it's what's called a wet burrito. So if you don't know, there's burritos that are meant to be eaten with your hands, like a handheld street food, but there's burritos that are meant to be actual sit-down dinners at a restaurant. When you go to a good Mexican restaurant and you get a wet burrito, what happens is they put this giant burrito on a plate, okay, fresh out of the oven. They coat it with sauce and then they melt cheese on top and they give you a fork and knife and say, eat it like this. That's why you would put cheese on the outside of a burrito. You wouldn't do that at Taco Bell where the customer is going to eat it with their hands. So just the design of burrito is just so fucking stupid. Whoever at the company designed it is a complete moron. And the fact that people think this is a good idea just shows the intelligence level of the average American today. Okay? So the design of the burrito is flawed. Then I go to bite into it. First bite, all sour cream. Literally, my entire mouth is just full of sour cream. I could have just taken a spoon and put it into a container of sour cream and eaten it like that. It would have been exactly the same flavor. The next bite is literally all meat, all salty ass seasoned meat, nothing else. The next bite is all sour cream again. As I continue through the burrito, it's all like that. One bite, all corn chips. Then a bite, all rice. So they don't care about the quality of the product they're putting out. They're not saying, oh, it's a burrito. You're supposed to space out the ingredients, mix them, and then wrap. They just say, oh, here we go. Rice, sour cream, meat, wrap, done. So you can't even get an even bite. Imagine if you go to eat a hamburger, okay? You bite into it. The first bite, all tomato, just a mouthful of tomato. Then your next bite, all pickles. Then your third bite, oh, all meat with nothing else, so it's dry as shit. That's the equivalent of the burrito I ate yesterday. It's fucking terrible. Guess how much it cost? $8.50. So after yesterday's DSP tries it, I'm at my wit's end. This shit is horrible. It's really atrociously bad. And I want to get something better. Now, I feel like Firehouse Subs is actually a really good business. Every time I've gone there, the food's been outstanding, okay? The problem is, number one, they're far away, and number two, they're expensive, so I almost never eat Firehouse Subs. Like, maybe at most once a year, okay? Last time I had Firehouse Subs, I think, was a year ago when I did a taste test. I think they had just added, like, a roasted chicken, so I had the roasted chicken against another one, okay? So currently, they have a Thanksgiving sub. It is roasted turkey, sliced, with stuffing, cranberry sauce, and gravy. And apparently you can even get like a side of gravy to dip it in, okay? Which is pretty good. That sounds amazing, right? Might be really tasty if it's good. I mean, is the turkey good? Is the gravy good? You don't know, right? So to me, that sounds good. Like, that sounds interesting. Maybe that's something good to try, and maybe it's time because I'm just so fed up with this awful food. That sounds good. But I'll be honest with you, even though this may be a horrible decision, I'm intrigued to try Domino's Pizza. I haven't had Domino's Pizza. The last time I remember eating Domino's Pizza was when I was in Connecticut in 2019. The only reason I ate it is because my wife and I had just touched down from the airport, and it was like midnight and there was nothing else open. And it was absolutely disgusting. Okay? It was just terrible. And I haven't had it really since. At least if I had it, it was so unnotable, I don't remember. I actually checked the DSP Tries It archives, and we haven't done an episode of it in a million years. So this could be good. Trying out their stuffed crust, trying out other pizzas and or a side might be a good thing that I haven't done for a while. You know, it's kind of like when I went back to Little Caesars and I was shocked. I was like, wow, bang for the dollar was actually, it was terrible quality, but the food was a lot of value for the money that you pay for it, and the food doesn't taste bad. It's just bad for you. So I might try it. But here's the thing. I want to know, okay? What do you guys think I should do next for DSP Tries It? All right? I want feedback right now. Do you know of anything going on at a restaurant that I should be aware of? Some special promotion, a seasonal thing? I want feedback because I don't want to just do what I'm doing and then people are like, oh, we didn't want that because you skipped this. And a lot of the times you guys are way more aware of what things that I should do than I am because you know more than me about this new stuff that's popping up. All right? Get a smothered burrito. I just had Taco Bell. I'm not getting Mexican again. Plus, we had Mexican too. So I'm not doing that again. That would be too repetitive. The Burger King Halloween menu, Mateo, is not a Halloween menu. Here's the Burger King Halloween menu. An orange-colored bun, a box that looks like a mummy, nuggets that are shaped like fangs, and bats. I'm not kidding. That's the menu. There's nothing new. It's exactly the same items you normally would buy. They just slightly packaged them differently or presented them differently, and they're acting like it's a menu. It's exactly the same food. So I'm not doing that. There's a waste of everybody's time. Okay. Sadly, there's no good Italian around. I would love to do Italian food. There is no good Italian near me whatsoever. So that's why I never do Italian food. We already did the Rock wood-fired pizza a couple of times, actually, over the years. That's one of the places that if my wife and I are craving pizza, we actually get it from the Rock because at the Rock, it is a wood-fire oven they use. So you get some char on the pizza. The dough is quite tasty. It's handmade. It's pretty good. It's certainly not authentic Italian pizza, but it's much better than any of the other shitty fast food places or even local chains out here. It's much better than all of that, so we do that, but we've already done that a couple of times. Subway has a new meal deal. Well, I regret to inform you, I have absolutely sworn off Subway, and I'm never eating Subway ever again in my life. I've already declared this. After we did that DSP Tries It of Subway earlier in the year, that was arguably one of the worst things I've ever eaten in my life. It was so toxic. I think if I ate that thing, I would have got sick. I'm never eating there again. I swore it off. I don't care. If literally, all right, if I was stranded in the wilderness for a month and all I was eating was bugs and dirt, and I crawled out of the wilderness, all right? And I looked up on my hands and knees. I'm malnourished. I'm skinny. I'm a living skeleton. I need to eat right away, all right? And I look up and oh my God, I've crawled up to the doorstep to the front door of a Subway. And on top of that, it says in big lights, free sub day at Subway. Okay? I would immediately just choke myself to death and off myself because I want to prevent my body from just, on an instinct of survival going in there and eating a Subway sandwich. I'm never doing it ever again. It was so bad. I am seriously never eating there ever again. Obviously, I'm joking. No, I would not kill myself. That was a joke. Okay, don't take it seriously. People will be like, oh my God. But that was so bad. I would not subject myself or my body to that ever again. Nor do I recommend that anyone ever subject themselves ever again to Subway in history. They should actually just close every single Subway store on the planet immediately, and it would do humanity a service. The food is fucking terrible. We actually, Goodrich, we also recently did Chipotle. So I wouldn't want to do Chipotle again when we just did it a few months ago. It also wasn't very good. Well, again, if anyone is aware of something that is new somewhere, I want to know. If not, then I think we should either go with the Firehouse subs or the Domino's. Personally, I'm leaning at this point towards the Domino's because I feel like maybe the Firehouse sub, the Thanksgiving sub, makes more sense in November, since November is the month of Thanksgiving in the United States. Again, I have no idea why they released that sub in like September, when obviously people were going to think about Thanksgiving in November. We need Halloween to be done before you can get to Thanksgiving in America. I don't know why they jumped the gun like that, but we actually did Little Caesars pretzel pizza earlier in the year, DSP supporter. We already did it. What would I eat at Domino's? Well, I know that they have a stuffed crust pizza now, and I've never tried that, so I'd get one of those. I probably would get another style of pizza, and maybe I would let you guys pick that one, because I think they have New York style, pan style, hand toss style, thin crispy crust. They have like 4 other kinds. So maybe I would let you guys pick which one that you wanted to see me try along with the stuffed crust. And then I would probably also order some kind of a side, whether that's the breadsticks, the wings. I don't know what they have anymore. I haven't eaten there in so long, you know? Is it? Omega sauce says the stuffed crust at Domino's is great, really. I don't know if you should call anything great like that you should say it's passably decent. Then I'd be like, okay, that's believable. To say that it's great, I don't know if I believe that. Okay. Now, hold on a second. Don Juan says, get the Philly cheesesteak there. You said you used to love it. I never said I used to love it. That's a complete lie. What I said was, in the 2000s, when I was poor, all right, I would do a 5-5-5 deal at Domino's, where you'd be 3 medium pizzas, 3 medium pizzas, unlimited toppings on each for $5 each. And I would order that deal, and I would get something like the Philly cheesesteak pizza, the pizza with the works, and then either a heavy meats or something. And then I would literally eat pizza for 3-4 days. Breakfast, piece of pizza. Lunch, 2 pieces of pizza. Dinner, pizza. Next day, pizza. And I would just keep eating the different flavors until it was all gone. And that was all I ate for 3 days. Of course, insanely unhealthy, absolutely disgusting. But that's what I did when I was poor. I also used to work at Best Buy, and I would drive to Best Buy in the morning before my shift, and I would get the $1 double cheeseburger, the $1 McChicken, and the $1 drink. And I would literally eat the double cheeseburger, the McChicken, and a drink. It would be $3 and change. That was my meal. And then I would go to work, and then after my work, I would go back to McDonald's, and I would have chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? All the cheap stuff. That's all I would eat. That's what I ate for 2 years of my life when I was poor. And you wonder why I got fat at one point, huh? I think we know why, right? But thankfully, I don't have to do that shit anymore. I'm in a much better place in my life, so good stuff. Would I try to get other food items for Claim Jumper? Well, actually, I have an important follow-up to that. All right, if you remember, what was it, like, one or two marathons ago, I actually ordered food from Claim Jumper. Remember we were gonna do a DSP Tries It on it, but the food showed up and I was like, I drank a lot and I don't really wanna do a formal DSP Tries It, but I'll just do the taste testing of the food, and the food actually wasn't very good. You remember that, right? Like, I got, like, some kind of a jambalaya, and I didn't really like it, and I got pizza, and the pizza was subpar. Guess what? Claim Jumper has gone completely out of business nationwide. They're all out of business. That's why the food was bad, because they were basically on their last legs, and that was one of the last, that was probably like the last 1 to 2 weeks they were ever open. So they had like a skeleton crew trying to put food together. They're all closed. So it's a shame because when Claim Jumper was good, it was a really fun American chain. What Claim Jumper was a place that tried to do like comfort food. So they would do like meatloaf, rotisserie chicken, uh, like a seafood combo that had like fish, or fish and chips, but also like some shrimp and stuff like that. Steaks, they were big into steaks. You could get all kinds of steaks and stuff there. And then they had handmade pizzas, pastas, all kinds of stuff. And when I first started going there, I loved it. The whole building looks like a giant log cabin. And when you go inside, it reminds me of the lodge from The Last of Us 1. Remember that lodge that they were in? And then Ellie got chased by what's his fucking name? And he was trying to kill her. So that's actually like what it looked like. I was like, wow, this like is like a cool, you know, reference to like Americana times when people used to live out in the woods and shit, you know? And it was nice. They used to have this big rotisserie chicken oven where they would make these rotisserie chickens all day and you could get it. It was absolutely amazing. And then basically what happened is the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, sadly, everything went to shit with this company. They lost an insane amount of money. They shut down all the stuff they don't do rotisserie chicken. They shut it down. And that was one of their best dishes that always sold out every day. They stopped giving out bread. They stopped doing, like, you would go in there and be like, I'm going to get a dinner, okay? To get your dinner, you get a free salad, a free soup, bread, and then your main course, all for like $20 to $25. You'd get like a 4-course meal, and it was all good quality, too. It wasn't like, oh, shitty food from Olive Garden. It actually was good food. Then after the pandemic, they literally got away with it. It's all gone. No salad, no soup, no bread, just whatever you're ordering. That's what you get. So the value went away and people stopped going there. They actually went through bankruptcy. They got bought by another company and then they still failed. So it's pretty sad. I'm happy that I did actually do Claim Jumper for a little bit, like on DSP Tries It. And I really liked it when I went there in person with my wife for a while, but they're gone. Sucks. It was one of the true unique things out here and it's actually shut down. So it sucks ass. What can you do? What do we think? Should we just say Domino's and get it out of the way and peak my, that's the one I'm most curious for. And then I'm thinking we do Domino's. And then I'm thinking in November, we focus on this Thanksgiving sub at Firehouse. And then we play it by ear and we see what else is going on. And maybe something new will happen by then. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. How does that sound? Yes? Okay. All right. So that's what we're doing. The next DSP Tries It will be Domino's Pizza for the first time in 100 years. In fact, here, let's confirm. Let's actually confirm, when was the last time that I did Domino's Pizza? Wow. So way early on, 13 years ago, when I started DSP Tries It, I did Domino's. I think that might be it. Because I see a lot of Pizza Hut. I see Papa John's. I see Little Caesars. Yeah, wow. I literally haven't done it. I'm shocked that I haven't done it. Because obviously Domino's is a very, very big staple of American cuisine. Everyone, that's like the default one you think of when you think of, oh, you're going to order out fast food pizza. You think, oh, Domino's, right? I'm actually shocked that I haven't done it in like 13 years. I can't even find an episode of DSP Tries It Domino's that I have done. I'm searching the entire DSP Tries It playlist. I don't see it. I didn't even realize this, but I did Round Table Pizza and I also did Pizza Dude's Pizza basically 10 years ago when I first moved out here. I didn't remember that I had done those. But yeah, no, there is. That's it. I haven't done it in like 12 years, 13 years on the show. All right, now I think it's a lock. Okay, so let's see what happens. I'd like your suggestions. Like, what should I get from Domino's? Do you have suggestions of a pizza I should try? I want to do a stuffed crust. I don't know about the other one. Do you have a suggestion for a side I should try? But let's lock it in. Let's go and say Domino's will be the next DSP tries it. Okay? Cool. We haven't done it in so long. It's funny because I was like, what about the local places? No, I did the local places when I moved here. I haven't done Domino's in longer than that. So, all right. Sweet. All right, we got it locked in. Now, let's get some support. We have 0 support right now. 0. Let's get some super chats. Let's get some memberships. Let's get some subs. Let's get some kicks. And let's get some tips to get to this goal. We got to get going now. We did not hit the goal last night for Ninja Gaiden 4. And that's the fault of myself and the game developers, both. Because I'll tell you why. It's right in line with what I've been saying. Are you ready for this? My viewers who actually like me. I'm not talking about the hate watchers. I'm not talking about the people who watch me on other channels who like to clip farm. I'm talking about the people who actually come by, watch my content right here on my own channels and support my channels, okay? They no longer want to see me rage and endlessly get frustrated at games. I've now reached the point in my life and my career that people have actually said, we just want to chill. We want to relax with Phil. If we just have a night where we talk for the whole night, that's a great night. That's why American Truck Simulator has remained a great staple of my content for over 6 months now, is because people just want to relax with me. They just want to have a good time. Games that give me the opportunity to talk with you in between the gameplay segments are always doing way better than games where I have to be insanely focused on the game at all times. I don't have time to read chat. I don't have time to shout stuff out. I'm just sitting here playing like this. People want to hang out. And I get that. And I think as I get older, that's exactly what's going to happen is people are going to want to hang out more. They're going to want to talk about topics more. They're going to want to get my opinion on stuff and have a conversation rather than just play the game. And that's okay. And I want you to understand, definitely, okay? I want you to understand that doesn't mean that game's going away. Gaming is not going away. I love gaming. It's the core of my content. It will remain. But that does not mean that I can't also do other things or change the kind of things that I do around to what you guys want. Okay? Case in point, here's actually King Furbs just made a great point in chat. He says, it shows you do have to ask for support because when you don't ask, you don't get anything, and that's what happened last night. Okay, let me explain what happened last night with Ninja Gaiden 4. And by the way, thank you. I Love Work just did 100 kicks. That's the first contribution to the stream. Thank you, I Love Work. Okay, so what happened last night? Your future stepdad, thank you for the first sub of the day. Here's what happened last night. The first hour of Ninja Gaiden 4, people are intrigued because it's a brand new game. They want to see if the game is any good. And I'm actually happy that earlier in this year, I played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black because it gave me a big frame of reference. If I hadn't played 2 Black, I probably wouldn't have known some of the mechanics and things in this game. So I'm happy that I have, okay? Now, I start playing the game, and everyone's engaged, interested. We're all talking about the game together. We're having a good time. Whole first hour goes incredibly well. First hour, I raise over $100. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Then only about an hour in, inexplicably, the game presents a challenge room / optional objective area before you have even gotten all of your combat abilities, okay? So the stupid part about this is there's no reason for this room to exist yet because it's not representative of the rest of the game. Later on in the game, you're going to have other abilities, so why do the challenge room now? All it's going to do is expose some flaws in the game's combat because you're playing it too early, you see? So I go into this challenge room, and immediately I find a whole bunch of problems with the game engine. Number one, the auto-targeting doesn't work right. Half the time when you try to attack an enemy, the ninja, I forget his name. It's not Ryu anymore. They changed his name. It's a new character. He attacks the wrong way. So you have all these attacks that are supposed to like do crowd control, but half the time when you do them, you run the opposite direction of the enemies. Well, why is it doing that? I didn't make the game. Could you have the targeting work a little better? It's a challenge room. I have all these abilities I unlocked. Can someone actually, like, make the ninja hit the fucking enemies? Because it's not me. I didn't program it. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the one new thing that they have added to the gameplay is a super armor mechanic, where instead of you just being able to endlessly do free-flowing combos, sometimes when you're attacking enemies, an enemy will have super armor. So now you have to hold down a trigger and press a button to charge your sword and do a super, like, strike that breaks through the armor. Then you can do the combo to that. The problem is this is incredibly slow. So every time you do it, basically you're stopping your free-flowing combat and you're just leaving yourself wide open to attack. Okay? Now, maybe there is a way to fix that. I don't know. But early in the game, there's not. You're in this challenge room and you're trying to kill a whole bunch of enemies in every direction. And then you go to do this to stop the super armor, and every enemy just gangbangs you. They all just jump on top of you, start punching you from every direction. Huh? These guys come up with spears and they start swinging super armor attacks. Okay, let me dodge one. 3 more come up behind you and start beating the shit out of you because what do you want me to do? I just started. I don't have all the abilities yet. So the challenge room is flawed. It's actually a stupid pain in the ass. So it took me, no exaggeration, over 30 minutes of raging at this room until I finally beat it. Okay? What was the reward? Oh, a little bit of the upgrade currency. So not worth it at all. Complete waste of your time. So it's a huge game flaw. They screwed that up. They totally shouldn't have had that early in the game. But here's what happened. Since I'm so focused on this challenge room and trying to beat it, and I'm just keep restarting it, okay? I basically completely turned away the audience. I wasn't interacting. I certainly wasn't being positive. I wasn't enjoying myself. What happened is I raged. So what happens when I rage is all of my trolls and clip farmers clip farm it and say, we got content today, hooray. And all of my actual positive supporters and viewers say, this sucks, and they leave. The attendance massively went down while I was in this challenge room. And by the time that I beat it, I only had 10 minutes left on the stream. So now I couldn't even finish the first stage, the first chapter, because the challenge room took up all my time. Hence, don't put a fucking challenge room on stage 1 when it's not capable of being really done because you don't have your abilities yet. It's horrible game design. So then I went to the end of the stage. I ran out of time. I said, well, guys, I'm sorry. I can't beat this. And people were upset. And rightfully so. Why wouldn't you be? You came here to see the beginning of the game and you only got to see, you know, the intro and part of chapter 1 on the first night stream. I'd be upset too. I got absolutely no support the second half of the stream. 0. So I ended the night at $115 of support, and I got 110 of it within the first hour and $5 for the whole second hour. Can I blame the audience? No, absolutely not. I blame myself for getting too focused on that stupid challenge room, and I blame the game developers for fucking putting it there like idiots. It never should have been there, especially with the flaws in the combat of this game. They should have waited and put it in later when you have more abilities and things unlocked that make it more, feasible. So that sucked. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to ditch Ninja Gaiden 4 simply because this happened, okay? I'm going to play it again tomorrow night. I am. I want to continue, or tonight, excuse me. We're going to play it as the late stream tonight, and we're going to see how it does, and hopefully it does well, all right? And I will focus mostly on story advancement. If I do happen to find another challenge room, I'll tell you this, I'll just try to do it without any of the crazy modifiers to give you more rewards. Like, I'll just do 100% health, just try to beat it legit, and go from there. And hopefully we can get through them. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I'll just say, well, screw it. And we'll just continue with the story. All right. I don't want this playthrough to be ruined simply because the optional content is too fucking annoying and it's not entertaining for you or me. All right. So let's go tonight on a second stream. Let's see if we can make it work. And hopefully we will. And hopefully it'll be fun. But I apologize for last night. Yes, I absolutely should not have gotten so focused on that stupid room to waste for like 40 minutes of the stream. Pissed me off, pissed you off. I get it. We were all having a good time. And then I kind of blew it with that stupid, the way I reacted to that. Okay? So, Jasper, you're way on camera today. Look at this. He wants to be up in the spotlight. Look at this. Jasper Kitty. Jasper Kitty. What's going on, buddy? You're up front and prominent. You want your close-up. It's rare that Jasper gets a close-up. There we go. Don't. You sniffing my thermos. Don't lick the thermos. All right. So that's what happened last night. Again, I apologize for that. I don't think that'll happen again. Now I kind of understand how these challenge rooms are going to work, and hopefully you'll show up tonight and we'll have a good time with Ninja Gaiden 4. Okay. But now, please, let's get some support. Let's hopefully have a good day today. Let's hit those goals on both streams for Mario Galaxy 2 right now, for Ninja Gaiden 4 tonight. Let's get some support rolling and some momentum going so that we can get working towards the Domino's Pizza. DSP tries it next week. Because in reality, I do not think that we're going to hit 10 goals between now and the end of Thursday. I don't think that's going to happen. Why is he named Jasper? Because he had that name when we rescued him. We got him from a shelter, and he already had that name. We did not give him that name. Okay? Okay. So, thank you guys. We have support that came in. We have Holy Marcellus, who actually gifted a sub. Thank you, Holy Marcellus, for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. And we got a nice, generous tip. Let's take a look at this one. Only about several $1,000s. Let's see. Okay, no, it's not. It is a $10 tip. And it looks like it's from Abdullah. Thank you, Abdullah, for a $10 contribution this morning to get the tipping started. Here we go. Thank you, Abdullah, for $10. I appreciate that. Then we have, hold on. Oh, crap, I misclicked. Oh, no. I didn't do that. Good. I almost moved a message I didn't want to move. Let's see here. Someone tipped $1 just to say, yeah, but you made over $100 in 2 hours. You're right. You notice I didn't say, oh my God, what a disaster stream, how horrible, and I'm dropping the game. I didn't say that. I have a goal. My goal is 150 a stream. I want to hit my goals because that's called success. I feel like last night was a decent stream, but I wanted to hit the goal, and it did not hit it because of the actions of my bad choice to do that challenge room for 40 minutes and the bad choice of the developers to put that fucking challenge room that early in the game when you don't even have all your abilities yet. It's the fault of both. It's, I made the choice, but man, they could have done that a lot better, and it needs to be called out honestly. That was stupid. That was very bad choice by them. So thanks for the buck. All right, folks, now it is finally time. 3 weeks. You guys have been nominating games. It's time for us to figure out what exactly I will be playing on Halloween. All right. What is going on? Oh, some people are saying hello. Let's see here. Filipino, how are you today? Good morning. Good to see you. Abdullah says you really look like Bill Murray, the actor. It's weird. I think that sometimes maybe I look a little bit like Bill Murray, and sometimes I think I look like Dan Aykroyd. Because I have a humongous fucking forehead, and I have a receding hairline. Both of them kind of have that. It's weird. It's very odd because when I was a kid, I didn't think I looked anything like the Ghostbusters at all. And now I look like 2 of them. All right, so are we ready? We're going to take a look right now at what games you guys nominated. Okay, here we go. So this was the playlist, excuse me. This was the thread where you guys were nominating horror games. Now, I'm going to be honest. There's no way that a game that has less than 10 nominations will ever make it. So I think we should only record games that have received 10 or more nominations. Then we can start narrowing it down. Okay. So as you can see, this is the very beginning of the list. I actually did it like oldest to newest. So the bottom is the first post in the thread. So we'll just look for ones that have 10 or more. We'll write those down. Then we'll start comparing and see, which had the most. Okay. Cool. I received a $5 tip. Hold on. So, someone took me $5 and says, how old is Jasper? Because he's very cute. Well, the truth is we don't know. And that's the sad fact of when you rescue any animal, you have no idea if you're going to get real info about that animal. And we don't. Like when we rescued Jasper, okay, they didn't even have his personal history. like, he is front declawed only, not rear declawed, and that's odd. Usually, if someone declaws a cat, they declaw both front and rear, and he's only front declawed. Why? Why is he only front declawed? We would never declaw a cat. We would never choose to do that. But we rescued him because we've been told that he'd been at the shelter for several months. No one wanted him because he was front declawed. He couldn't be an outdoor cat. And a lot of people want a cat that can be like a hybrid and not only be restricted to indoors. So he was just sitting there for months and people were passing him over, even though he's such a great kitty. So when we rescued him, the shelter assumed, okay, that he was probably, whoa, Jasper, you okay? What happened? He jumped out of the window. Did you get startled? I think he was in the window. He got startled. He jumped down and made a big commotion. You okay, buddy? Silly guy. So when we got him, they assumed he was around 3 years old, but they were like, he could be like 2, he could be like 4, like they didn't know. So he could literally be like right now, okay? Geez, let's think about this. He could probably be like as young as like 7 to 8, but he could actually be older. He could be 10, 11. We don't know. There's no way to know. What I know is I will say this, he still gets very hyper. He still gets his zoomies. He still can jump everywhere. I have noticed a little bit of, how can I say, apprehensiveness when he does stuff now. Like he used to, without even caring, jump on everything. Now he'll look at a jump and he'll carefully decide, should I do that jump or not? I think he knows that maybe it's not as easy to do the jumps like he used to. A couple times he goes for a jump and he slips. Not all the time, but every once in a while he goes for a jump and he'll whoops and he'll fall and he'll be all embarrassed that he fell because he used to always have sure footing and he's not as sure of his footing anymore. And this is what happens when you get older, you know? So I don't, by any means, I don't think that he's an old cat, but he is finally hitting that age where he's like, okay, I'm not a youngster anymore and I can't just do everything I want to do with unlimited power. You know what I mean? So, I think we're back in the window again. So yeah, he, how old is he? I don't know. Like I said, youngest he could possibly be is probably 7 years old, but he's probably older. Realistically, he's probably around 10, but we don't know. Okay. So, let's go. Let's take a look at your nominations, guys. King Furbsy, please take a look at the chat. Okay. First game to have 10 nominations right here is Killing Floor 2. We also have Left 4 Dead, which I don't know how viable that is on PC these days. Project Zomboid is up there. Look at all these nominations. So let's just get that right on the list. SCP Containment Breach. Here, actually, we should be writing down the amount of nominations. That's my fault. 10. Left 4 Dead had 20. Project Zomboid had like 5 million. SCP Containment Breach has 19. Mortuary Assistant has 14. Okay. Oops, whoa. Did not mean to do that. No, I'm Not a Human, which we already did begin. That one we could continue, right? Until Dawn. Now, here's the thing. We already played Until Dawn. It's a narrative-based game. We've already seen the story. Why would you want me to play that again? I'm a little confused about that nomination. Like, it's a great game if I had never played it. I've already played it multiple times, so I think I'm going to eliminate that one. That doesn't seem to make much sense. Haunting Grounds. Mizide. I don't know what that is. Oops, I keep misclicking. We already did Project Zomboid. RimWorld. Here's the thing about RimWorld. I already told you guys I would play it if we had like a random stream where people wanted me to just give it on a whim. Would like a 45 minutes of RimWorld do it justice? Would that make sense? Or would you rather that I eventually play it as like an actual stream? Because I feel like if people are gonna want RimWorld, and if I only play it for like a half an hour, 40 minutes, it's not gonna be a representation of the game, and people are gonna be pissed if that's all I ever do with it. It's not. Yeah. I don't think that makes sense. We should save that, right? People are saying you need like 4 hours. So there you go. But maybe we need a major, actual daytime major stream to actually try that one. Tekken 8, you're an idiot. I'm not doing Tekken. Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls. Dead by Daylight. That one always gets nominated. Let's see. These barely have any likes on them at all. Some have no likes, so these are already not going to be in that. What is Clover Pit? By the way, this was 10. What is Clover Pit? Poppy's Playtime? I actually have that. I own that one. I never played it. Oh, let's see. I did a full playthrough of Crow Country. If anyone's interested, it's on the channel. You can watch it. I played it last year. I loved it. Silent Hill 4, I've already played. Already got a full playthrough of that one too. Let's see here. Stellar Blade, you're an idiot. Catherine Fullbody, you're also an idiot. What is Danganronpa S? Wait a minute. One day ago, Cool Gal posts up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nominations, and every single nomination just happened to get around 20 to 30 likes. I don't think so. I wasn't born yesterday. Obviously, someone had their friends or they botted it. This is bullshit. So I'm not paying attention to those at all. That's a bunch of horseshit right there. And that's it. Okay, so basically, here's what we're working with. And I can already tell you what we should do is we eliminate anything that only has 10, because those are the least nominated. Okay. Oh, and Killing Floor 02 only has 10. So now we're working with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. And I guess what we do is, first of all, let's see, are these games readily available? Like Left 4 Dead, can you even just buy that and play it right now? Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2, or the bundle, which is probably what I would do. I would just get the bundle. Are these games still actively played? Like, if I buy this, could we play them? I'd be down for that. I love Left 4 Dead. I used to play it all the time back in the day. That was one of the earliest games I ever played as a YouTuber. It launched that year that I started on YouTube, and I absolutely loved those games. Now, I haven't played them for 100 years, so I don't know if I'd be able to find anyone to play them, but I'd be down for that. Okay, so Left 4 Dead. Obviously, we know Project Zomboid is on here. I don't know much about it. You guys have been asking me to try it for months. The thing is, I really don't think this is going to work, to be honest with you. But if you guys really want me to try it, I'll try it. What's hilarious is the game is from 2013, but it's still in early access. What on earth? Okay. SCP is an old one, is it not? SCP is a really old game. Yeah. It's free? Wait a minute. Why does it say coming soon? It's not out. How could I play this? It says it's not available. There's Containment Breach Reborn. There's a demo. Like, what is this? The servers are no longer active for Left 4 Dead. Really? So if I bought it, I can't play it with other people? That sucks. Just playing it solo isn't going to be good. It's going to be boring. Damn, that sucks. Why'd they take the servers down? What a bunch of assholes. Valve, you're a bunch of fucking assholes. You should have left those servers up. That's one of your classics, man. Right? That actually pisses me off. Was it Valve that made that? Actually, no, maybe it wasn't. It wasn't Valve that made that, was it? Now I'm misremembering. It wasn't Valve that made Left 4 Dead, right? Hmm. You can play with people still? How? Left 4 Dead still has servers, people are saying. Still works and has tons of players and the OG maps. Oh, well, we'll do that on Halloween. I'm totally down for that. I love Left 4 Dead. I haven't played it in a million years. But what about this? Like, how do I do this? This one isn't out. What's this? To be announced. I guess we could play the demo. I guess we could play this demo. That's all we can do because apparently the game isn't actually out. But I guess we could play the demo. All right. The mortuary assistant. There it is. Dang, why is it so expensive? $25? I wonder if you get it cheaper. Ooh, so what's this? Do you work at a mortuary? Okay. Ugh. Is it really gory? Like, is there gonna be like a lot of, you're chopping the bodies up and stuff? Because I don't know if we can even get away with that. YouTube might censor it. Sadly, I hate to say it, YouTube these days, if it's too realistic, YouTube will then censor I don't want the whole stream. Oh shit, oh god, look at that. Oh, that's actually cool. Monsters come out of the fucking mirror and shit. Oh shit, it's not. Oh my god. Okay, this is really creepy now. Holy shit. Whoa. I thought it was just a game where you do mortuary work. I didn't realize there were ghosts and stuff. Ah. So this is the definitive edition. It just came out last year. Oh, there's a demo. Well, maybe we'll play the demo, and if it's good, then we'll buy it. All right, maybe that's what we'll do. Okay. We could try all these demos, because the demos are perfect for a marathon, because you get a taste of it, and then if you like it, you can keep going. All right. All right, so we got demo for that, demo for that. No, I'm Not a Human I Own, so we could do that. What is Mizide? Me side? Me side? What the fuck is this? Imagine you have a game. Oh, it's this game. This is the one from last year. Yeah. This is the one where it's supposed to be like a virtual friend, but they become like obsessed with you and they want to like kill you and shit. Yeah, see? Imagine that you have a game in which you care for a character, but you can imagine one day getting into that game yourself. See? It's supposed to be like a virtual avatar game. You take care of this cutesy girl, but then at one point you actually like get sucked into the game. Something like that. He's like, what the hell? I'm in the game. Oh, it's my side. That's what it said. My side. That's how you say it. So isn't she like crazy? I think she's supposed to be nuts. Like you find out she's nuts. Yeah, look, she's got a knife. Why is she chasing you with a knife? What is going on? Why is she trying to kill you? I told you to get out of here. All right, it's kind of a creepy premise for a game. All right. Clover Pit. I don't know what that is. Clover Pit. Clover Pit. A roguelike slot machine nightmare. Gamble for your life in a never-ending debt simulator. Well, that's interesting. It's horror. What were you pissing? Get rich. Nope. Pay your debts. Another deadline. Control the odds. What's funny is that they're selling this also with Balatro. Whoa, this is interesting, actually. Like a horror slot machine game. Okay. You unlocked a corpse? Is that what it just said? Uh, okay. There's a demo too. Here we go. There's a demo. So we can play the demo, and if we like it and we want to keep going, we can buy it. I'm okay with that. Cool. Boy, let me tell you guys something. Being a PC gamer, all right, it's so awesome now. I'm so happy I am, and thank you guys for convincing me to do it, because now we're open to all this stuff. Like previously, I would do a Halloween marathon, and it would be like, well, what do you guys want? Well, what's available? Well, only these games are available on console to begin with, so we're screwed there, right? And then it would be like, well, there's never a demo. So if you want the game, I just have to buy it. Then we'll play it, and we play it for 5 minutes. We all hate it. Like, oh, shit, I bought the game. All these games have demos. So we can literally use the demo to test the game during the marathon, and if we like it, we can buy it and do future playthroughs of it. So this is awesome. Like literally, look, watch. Demo, demo, demo. This is only $15. I think Zomboid was what, 20? This one I already have. Me side, I think was what, 20? And then Poppy's Playtime I already have. Yeah, I already bought that for a previous marathon. So there you go. Well, that's a pretty good marathon. We'll get some Left 4 Dead action, smash some zombies. We'll finally find out what the hell this Project Zomboid is that you guys keep talking about. We'll play some creepy games like Containment Breach, Mortuary's Assistant, No, I'm Not a Human, and this Clover Pit, which seems like it's pretty creepy too. My side, I don't see here. That might be the one that's the bust, and the reason being, in a marathon setting, I don't know if we're going to get far enough into my side to get to the creepy parts. Like, it may just be the intro where you're doing, like, the virtual pet part, and then you get sucked in, and then it's like, well, now we already played for an hour, and we want to do something else. So that might suck. That might be the only one that doesn't really fit the format of the marathon. But Poppy's Playtime, yeah, we got all this. This is cool. All right. This is good. This is a good lineup. Left 4 Dead, Project Zomboid, SCP Containment Breach, The Mortuary Assistant, No, I'm Not a Human, My Side, Clover Pit, and Poppy's Playtime. That's an excellent lineup. Okay. Very, very good. All right, so save that up. Cool. Thank you to everyone. That's the wrong screen. Thank you to everyone who nominated stuff for the marathon. Now we know what we're doing. It looks good, right? That looks like a good lineup, a good variety of stuff that we'll be playing. And even better, if I'm buzzed during that marathon, it might be even more fun to try to see me play horror games buzzed. Seriously. Or drunk. But hopefully I don't get shit-faced drunk. Okay. So, thank you to Lance Catamaran. Lance gifted a sub over on Kick. And I received, let's see here, a $3 tip. Hey, everyone hanging out, playing Street Fighter 3 ranked. Hope all is well. Jesus bless you all. That sounds like Flatman B, but he didn't put Flatman B in the tip. Flatman, was that you? Only because you're the one who always says Jesus bless you all, so I think that it's Flatman B. Thanks for $3. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, so we have some interesting developments. Development number 1. The next DSP tries it will be Domino's Pizza, featuring a stuffed pizza, stuffed crust, and another kind that we'll determine together, plus a side that we'll determine together. Okay? Halloween Marathon games are a lock. Left 4 Dead, SCP Containment Breach, The Mortuary Assistant, Project Zomboid, My Side, Clover Pit, and No, I'm Not a Human. And there was another one too. Shit, I already closed it. I should leave that open because people might ask me all day what games. Poppy's Playtime. So there you go. Great stuff. Good stuff determined on today's podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. So we still have some extra time. What I will do is type into the chats here so you guys can tag me. Please tag me. And let's see what you guys want to talk about this morning. Okay? And let's talk. Let's chat. All right? And please, let's get some support. We're at $35 of support so far. Can we get some more support? And we want to hit that goal. Definitely we want to hit the goal today. I didn't hit it last night for Ninja Gaiden 4. That's my fault. I take the blame for that with the challenge room fiasco. All right. Let's hit the goal for Mario Galaxy 2. Let's hit the goal tonight for Ninja Gaiden. Let's keep hitting goals and crushing it so we can do DSP Tries It, Domino's Pizza as soon as possible. Let's go. And by the way, there is a free episode of DSP Tries It taking place during the Halloween marathon where I'll be trying out 2 holiday-themed treats. Okay? 2 treats. Free episode of DSP Tries It. No support needed for that one. It'll be happening during the Halloween marathon, guarantee. Okay? Cool. Do I remember Saturday morning meetings at Best Buy? I don't particularly remember them being on Saturday mornings, but I do remember morning meeting. We always had a morning meeting at Best Buy. Whenever you were opening, there was a meeting every morning where we got in a big circle and we talked on the floor about the strategy for that day and concerns and stuff like that. Am I interested in Clock Tower games? Yes, I am. One day I would like to play that Clock Tower remastered game that we saw because I never played Clock Tower before and I know it's like a classic horror game from back in the day. Will I play GTA Online again or no? Ask Mozzie. Thanks for the $2. Excuse me, I read the wrong thing. DSP supporter says, will I try GTA Online again or no? Probably not. Not really interested. Mozzie did a $2 super chat and says, will you be having special Halloween-themed drinks for the marathon? This weekend, during my days off, I'm going to go to the liquor store with my wife, and we're going to see what they got. We're going to see, do they have anything that may be horror-themed, Halloween-themed that I could have during the marathon? I don't know what they have. We got to see. Maybe I'll get a few Halloween brews, because, you know, sometimes they have the themed, like, beers and stuff you can get. I'll have to see. All right, so I'll see what I can find. Hopefully I can come up with something interesting themed to Halloween. If not, you know, I'll have my usual staples. I'll probably have either, you know, the little flavored shots or some different kinds of hard liquor to take shots of. So, yes, I've seen that they're announcing that. I guess it leaked. It wasn't officially announced by Capcom, but they are redoing Resident Evil 0. They're doing a remake of it, which I am happy for because Resident Evil 0 is definitely a game that needs it. It plays like shit. It really does. Like, it is just way too difficult. You can soft lock yourself in that game, which I did last time I tried to play it. So I'd be happy for them to remake it and make it more modernized and make it more fun. It's a great game, but it just is too difficult. They built it incorrectly. It really is a flawed game. And then I want them to do Code Veronica as well. Both of those would be outstanding remakes, in my opinion, modern remakes. Okay. Sanguine Alchemy is asking a question that has been asked before. I'll address it since people bring this up from time to time. Why is your goal the same on both day and night streams when one of them is 5 hours, the other is only 2? Shouldn't it scale based on the length of the stream? No, because this is not an hourly rate job. Just because I'm here 5 hours versus 2.5 hours doesn't mean that I expect to make more or less per hour. People show up and support what they like. Okay? If you like Mario Galaxy 2, you'll show up to the Mario Galaxy 2 stream and support it, whether it's 5 hours long or 2 hours long. You'll still be there to support it, right? So it doesn't matter how long the stream is. It doesn't affect anything at all, quite frankly. Usually I put streams on the day stream that are longer games because I know that I want to try to beat them at a more rapid pace. And I know if I don't put those games on the day stream, I'll never beat them at all. But no, what do you mean bait devoured? So he says bait devoured. I'm answering your honest question. How is that bait devoured? Are you retarded? You are retarded. Oh, okay. That's not bait. Bait is like if you ask me a question and you think you're going to somehow get something out of me that's going to like get me to rage or to get an answer out of me that you didn't know before and oh, oops, I didn't mean to say that. This is a question I've answered time and time again. It's not a big deal. That's not bait, you incredible idiot. You don't even understand the premise of what you're saying. You're so dumb. Anyway, thank you to Buckwell for 100 kicks over on Kick. I appreciate that, Buckwell. It really does baffle me that people actually think that, like, you know what I'm saying? That, wow, I got him, but you didn't. You're just an idiot. Like, what are you even talking about? Me and then they're like, "Oh, see, we got him to react." Yes, but you understand that me calling you an idiot because you are isn't like you got me. That's me showing the world you're an idiot. You lost that transaction, not me. But they're that dumb, they don't get it. They just prove their mental retardation when they act like that. Mozzie says Angry Orchard has a thriller pack. Do they? Okay. I will absolutely look at the liquor store for some themed stuff for Halloween this weekend. Hopefully they will have a couple things that would be nice. We'll find out. Okay? No, I don't have any N64 cartridges in my classic collection. I owned very few N64 games ever. I owned Mario 64, which came with the system. I owned Star Fox 64, Doom 64, Killer Instinct Gold, Mario Kart 64. I'm not even kidding. That might be it. I rented the vast majority of N64 games that I ever played. I barely ever bought any. I did own a lot of PlayStation 1 games, but I did not own many N64 games. And all of them I got rid of many, many, many years ago. I did not hold on to those. What's for dinner today? I think today we are having tuna salad sandwiches on ciabatta bread with also a hearty tomato soup. So kind of a soup and sandwich dinner day, I think. I'm not sure. I think that's what we're having though. I had Mario Kart 64. I did say that, didn't I? I had Mario Kart 64. Why do I think no one wants to do a documentary on gaming streamers and the history of the platform? I don't know that to be true. If I'm answering your question, assuming that what you're saying is true, I would say it's probably because they know that documentaries and visual essays on drama always get views on YouTube and just like factual stuff doesn't get a lot. Like, I know for a fact there's a few channels that will do factual documentaries and they'll spend 6 months making it, 8 months making it, and they'll get a million views. And that's great, except they put all that work into it. That's not enough to justify that level of work. While drama documentaries, this person did a horrible thing. This person's the most hated. They're going to bring in minimum, usually between 100 to 500,000 views just on the premise of it being drama. And it doesn't even have to be a long documentary. And you can pump those out at a very heightened rate and make tons of views and money on it. Pretty simple. People want drama, they watch drama, they support drama. So you make what people are going to support if you want profits. Will I ever disclose why I canceled the Mike Klum documentary? I already did. I already explained it fully to you. At the time, I didn't think it was right. It was going to be too much of an investment of time, stress, effort, and taking time away from me working to do this documentary without any guarantee that it was going to concretely help me in any way. Very well, I could have put out this documentary and it did absolutely nothing for me or my family or business, so why bother? And if I put that amount of time into it, I want to have a guaranteed benefit from it, right? It wasn't like, oh, so he's going to do this documentary and he's guaranteed he's going to be paid for all of his time as if he's an actor, you know what I'm saying, actually working on like a movie. It was just a documentary being made by me. Gee, hope this benefits you. So what was the point of that, right? It just wasn't worth it, okay? And quite frankly, it was an amazingly good decision because take a look at what's happened now in the last 2 years, right? Seriously, if I had done that documentary and it went the wrong way, things could have went completely differently than how they just did. And now things are in a very good place for me. So I'm happy that things have gone the way that they did. I actually made, for the first time probably in a very long time, I made a very good series of decisions in a row that actually set me up for success. Thankfully, I didn't blow it. I didn't screw anything up horribly, and things are going good now. Am I getting Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake? I heard it's coming out. No, I'm not getting it right now. And I would like to maybe play it in the future, but let's be honest, I got to go back to Suikoden 2 and finish that. There's other games I'd like to play too. It just sucks that people just don't turn up and support classic style turn-based JRPGs. I wish they did. By the way, I know this is an honest question for you guys because I don't know the answer. Whatever happened to Mike Klum? What happened to the guy? It's like he vanished. He didn't make anything, right? After the Boogie documentary, he was talking with me about making a documentary, and he was talking with others about making documentaries. Did he ever make anything? Or was the Boogie documentary one and done? Right? I don't know what happened. I mean, it's a legit question. I'm actually wondering what happened to the guy. Is he even okay? Has anyone heard from him at all? No one knows. No one even knows. Wow. Someone tipped me $3.60 and asks the following. Do you like Tron? I recently watched Ares, which was okay, but Legacy, which was one of my favorite films. I've seen both the original Tron and I've seen Legacy. The original Tron, I always thought was very visually stunning, but boring. Like, even back in the day when it was new and stuff, I saw it as a kid, and I thought it was boring as hell. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the pacing or whatever. I just felt like there was a whole lot of talking and blabbing for something that should have had a lot more action. Okay. And always weird because I felt like they portrayed the movie like it was an action movie, but it's not. It's just a lot of drama and exposition and plot, and not as much. You know what I'm saying? Um, so, in that regard, the first one, a classic by everyone's standards, but I didn't really love it. Okay. Second movie, Legacy, I thought was decent. I found it more entertaining actually than the first, but I only saw it like once and I don't remember anyone talking about it afterward. So I heard Ares is bad. I heard Ares is just plain boring. And everyone's like, number one, why are we still making a Tron movie in today? Like, who's asking for Tron in 2025? And number two, who the hell is asking for Jared Leto to be a lead in any movie ever again? But they keep putting him as leads in movies that flop and flop and flop. It's kind of a running joke at this point. Yeah, I mean, so some people are saying different things. People are saying he was working on that EDP documentary. Yeah, but that was like a year and a half ago. Like, remember, I dropped out of doing the documentary, and then within like a month of me dropping out, the word leaked on the internet that apparently he was working on an EDP documentary, and I was like, whoo! Because let me tell you, I don't want to be sandwiched between Boogie and EDP. In any circumstance, in any way, shape, or form, in any even phrasing, you know what I'm saying? I would never want to find myself between those two men. So I'm very happy that I did drop out, okay? But again, that was a year and a half plus ago. You know what I'm saying? And that is true. Someone just said, well, you know, Boogie turned out looking so bad from his documentary, maybe no one wants to work with this guy. That was one of my major concerns. That's what I tried to explain to Mike during that whole deal was, I don't want my documentary to be like Boogie's. Boogie's documentary is literally a pity party, woe is me documentary. Feel bad for me, right? Because of all these things. But at the same time, you know, he gets exposed for doing all these bad things over time. So he ends up being like not really a pitiable figure, but more just like a miserable wretch kind of a figure in his documentary. And a lot of people watched it and were like, wow, it's fascinating to watch, but you don't feel you don't like Boogie anymore after having watched it. Some people actually like, no, this has actually made him look even worse, right? And that's what I tried to explain to Mike is like, there's no point in me doing a documentary like that. I have nothing to gain from it. I'm not at the end of my rope. My business is successful. I'm doing fine. I would want this to be a way to boost myself and my business. So our documentary was going to be a different, completely different kind of documentary. 100%. No, and that's the truth. Documentaries are not about whitewashing someone's past. That's not what the intention is. The intention is, listen, everyone knows my past. It's literally out there. Everyone already knows everything about it. So you've already made your decisions on if you like or dislike me, but no one really sees the real me. All they see is me through the lens of detractors, right? So the documentary, the point was to try to see the real me on a daily basis, what it's like to be me, what it's like to have my life, to work like I do, you know, to have this constant negative stuff going on and just ignoring it and pushing forward, you know, with my own way and just saying, fuck these people, you know? But in truth, I don't care about that. I just want to do my own thing, and I don't think that it would have helped me at all. Honestly, to be honest, I don't think a documentary like that would have helped anything. I think it would have been just more ammo for idiots to take from and say more horrible things because they don't care about the truth of the situation. Even if I portrayed the truth in the documentary, they don't want the truth. They want their own narrative so they can keep perpetuating the lie so they can keep making content. It's a content farm for them. So to them, anything that looks good about me, they ignore or they write off or they say it's a lie. And anything that looks bad about me, they extrapolate, they exaggerate, they go crazy for. So why give them anything more? Someone tipped $1. Says I nominated Megabonk. It has a demo if you wanted to check it out. Oh, I saw that you nominated Megabonk, but it got one upvote. You know, I got to go with what people upvoted and want. People did not want Megabonk. So I know it's virally popular, but I guess people just didn't want it for Halloween. Not surprised. It's not a Halloween game. It's not horror themed, so that's not shocking to me. Okay, so guys, last chance if you want to ask me a question or you want to contribute and get a shout out. We're just about to a third of the goal. All right. Can we get to a third of the goal? Can we get to $50 right now before we end the podcast? And then we'll have $100 to go to get while I play Mario. That'd be great if we could. Yeah. Bean says an old FGC DSP documentary would be awesome, like Daigo, Gutex, and Mike Ross have. What's hilarious is you just named 3 people, one of which has been around in the FGC as long as me, 2 of which not even close. Gutex and Mike Ross were not a presence in the FGC until Street Fighter 4 came out. I was there in the grassroots movement of Street Fighter to begin with. I was there the day it came out in American arcades. I was playing in tournaments since the late 90s. I was traveling and being a top player the entire first half of the 2000s, and then I was a tournament organizer after that. There's a way more to cover with me. What the fuck are you covering with Mike Ross and Gutex? That they sat there playing Street Fighter 4 in tournaments and on a couch and made videos of it? Woohoo! What nice documentary. There's way more to say about the old grassroots days of the FGC. The problem is the new guard don't care because they've only been around since Street Fighter 4, so they don't even care about the past because it doesn't affect them. They feel like that was an old day they weren't involved in. And to be quite frank with you, no one recorded anything. There was no, it wasn't common to bring a camcorder with you to go anywhere. So there was maybe 1 or 2 people tops who ever recorded fighting game tournaments back in the day. And I don't even know if they're still around and if they would be willing to share their archives. Like there was this one guy from the Northeast United States. His name was David Spence. He was a Super Turbo player. He literally would record every major East Coast tournament. He would go there with his camcorder and he would document it. The thing is, they were like his own personal records. Like he never gave them out. He didn't digitize them and put them on the internet. They were just for him. So if anyone ever found that guy, maybe they could offer him like $5,000 to buy his entire library of tapes and they could digitize and they could completely become a historical documentarian of the FGC back in the day in its grassroots days. But it doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? Like all you could do is piece together things that of an old FGC via hearsay, interviews and things. There's not even, what are you going to do? Show an IRC chat room from 2003? How? No one archived that shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's impossible to really recreate those days because no one knew there'd be interest in it. Now, who knew that fighting games would blow up and become part of esports leagues and be, big business? No one knew that back in the day. So no one basically documented anything. But that's what my point. Like you're saying, well, why don't they do documentaries of stuff back then? That's why. Where are you going to get the footage from? Right? It doesn't exist. It's a lot easier to do stuff from the modern era because everyone shared everything on YouTube. Everyone streamed everything. Back then, there was no evidence of anything. And by the way, I don't think that there's enough about me to make a documentary about FGC. But I mean, if you just made in general a documentary about the old school FGC, where it came from, the grassroots movement, how it survived an era when there were no new fighting games. That's huge. From the year of like 2001 all the way up to 2009 when Street Fighter 6 came out, or excuse me, Street Fighter 4 came out. That's 8 years there was no fighting games from Capcom. 0. Yet the fighting game community stayed alive via its own volition. It was only its own hard work and dedication and a lot of money and time and blood, sweat, and tears that it stayed alive. It could have died completely with zero support from Capcom and no new games, but it actually persevered for the longest time, which is pretty crazy. Yes, I said from Capcom because there were other fighting game franchises that continued, but they didn't have the prominence of Capcom. Tekken kept putting out games, but the Tekken community was never anywhere nearly as big as the Street Fighter community. Just being honest. Same thing with all the games from who made Guilty Gear? Whoever they Arc Systems, right? Their games, yes, they got play, but they were never as prominent, absolutely never as profitable as Street Fighter games. They never really hit mainstream status like Street Fighter did. You see what I'm saying? Thank you. Wow. Ducent Vin GT just gifted 5 subs over on Kick. Thank you so much. Great support right there. Let me get you on the leaderboard. Thank you for that. You got us over that third of the way. Appreciate that. Why don't I make a documentary? Because I'm not a documentarian. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a filmographer. I certainly don't have the expertise. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the money, the means, the time. I could certainly be a part of a documentary. If someone wanted to interview me about various topics, I could add my knowledge and experience and my takes on things. I can't make the documentary. I'm don't even know the first thing about how you even start the process, to be frank with you. I do like pumpkin spice scents and flavor. I think that it's good for this season, actually. It's very nice for the fall season. All right, are we good? Are we ready to begin with Mario today? I'm excited for Mario because we haven't played it in about a week. It's a great game, and this is a shorter streaming week for me, so I can't even play it again. But Mario, from time to time, will come back into the mix. I told you we're not stopping the playthrough. It's just a matter of we have to find times to fit it in. So today is the day for that this week, okay? Cool. All right. Well, guys, thank you for a great podcast. I will return with this show on... Crap, when are we coming back with the show? Hold on a second. That's actually a good question. Oh, that's right. So on Thursday, it's the premiere of Tormented Souls 2. I don't want to do a full-length podcast simply because I want to play a lot of that game. But at the same time, I don't want to only do 2 podcasts this week for a whole week. So I'm going to do a shortened podcast on Thursday morning. That'll probably only be around a half hour long to cover various topics like where are we with everything, how did it go with Ninja Gaiden 4, etc. And then we'll go into Tormented Souls 2. So there will be a show, a shortened podcast this coming Thursday. Fair enough? All righty. Thank you all for joining me and for participating and having a great time here today with the Level 1 podcast. Great development. Seriously. Had an absolute great time. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show, and I hope that you'll stick around for awesome gameplay. I will see you soon. Don't go anywhere. Peace out, everyone. See you Thursday.